All right, time to finish off the show with rapid reaction. A lot of topics, a little bit of time. Take it away, Drink.
Let's roll, baby. Yesterday, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver told ESPN Radio that he thinks the NBA play-in tournament should continue because of the intrigue it provides and the incentive it gives teams to play out the regular season. Do you agree?
Oh man, it's a two-sided argument. I see where he's coming from. You can say that maybe it decentivizes tanking. You know, we saw at Chicago Bulls; they certainly tried their best at the trade deadline. They tried to get to the 10th spot, but they did not. But I do think, in the end, we're going to see more play-ins look like the East than the West. I think this is a real rare situation where we get teams like the Lakers and Warriors and even the Grizzlies giving us some great performances. Um, I just don't think we're going to see LeBron and Steph in the play-in too much. And I think once we see some more of those mediocre 8, 9, 10 teams, the quality of basketball that we get, it'll look more like the Eastern Conference action that we saw. Houston area high school running back Jadon Blue, who is number 82 in the ESPN 300 for 2022, is electing to sit out his high school football season and prepare for his college career at the University of Texas. Drink, this is something I don't think I've ever read about before. Is this a common occurrence in high school?
I think it's not to this point, but I think it could be. Listen, the more we allow, well, the more that college players are allowed to do it, then high school players are going to see the wisdom, and then you think about these universities are going to see the wisdom. Listen, we just seen Jamar Chase and Panay Sewell both sit out the whole year, and they both went where they was projected to go for the most part. So if a player can do that on the college level to go to the pros, I don't see why a high school player couldn't do that to get to the college. Because at the end of the day, it's their career. They want to get to the next level as healthy as they can. And if you have enough tape and you commit to a school, and that school is like, you're our guy, and you tell them, hey, I want to sit out my last season to make sure I'm healthy before I come on campus. Okay, I ain't mad at it. Boom. All right. So I do think this is an occurrence we're going to see more. Now, what I'm hoping is we don't have the whole top 20 of the class doing this. Then what are we looking at? Like, we have no tape to look at, and it's a crapshoot. But I'm not mad at it. I understand it, and if both parties agree to it, then let's do it. The Tampa Bay Rays have traded shortstop Willie Adanis and right-hander Trevor Richards in exchange for two right-handers, Drew Ramusas and J.P. Firerising. What do you think of that trade, Jay?
I think the it's a little bit surprising because I thought Adamas was one of the building blocks for the Rays, but he was off to a little bit of a rough start this year. Meanwhile, the Brewers have a shortstop in Luis Urias, I believe, who he's not off to that big of a start. So they're trying to get some shortstop help. Meanwhile, we know how the Tampa Bay Rays like to manage their bullpen. That's a big part of what they do. And talked about how Nick Anderson is going to be out for an extended period. So maybe Rasmussen and Fireheisen can help with that. So in the end, I think both teams got something of what they needed. The Washington Red Team, yes, I said Red Team, has released starting right tackle Morgan Moses, who had started every game for him since 2015. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
In today's NFL, I think it's at least a little deal. I don't know if it's a big deal, but at least a little deal. Listen, for you to have a tackle, left or right, either one, don't really matter, that has started since 2015, you know how rare that is? That's a unicorn for real. But at the end of the day, maybe he's old, maybe he wants too much money. It's a business. So we understand you good, but do you know how many tackles come out of the draft every year? So we'll move on, and if you still got game, we'll let you go to another team and be their starting right tackle. But you never know why stuff happens. But I would say this: it ain't too many tackles that can say what he can say as far as being a starter since 2015. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is ahead of schedule for his toe surgery, and he'll be back on the practice field this week. Good news, right?
For the Chiefs, rest of the NFL probably like, man, wish he could have been out a little bit longer. Any extra preparation Patrick Mahomes has to get better and continue to hone his craft. Not good news for the rest of the NFL, but for the Chiefs fans and the viewers like us, I'm here for it.
Right.
We're beginning to see reports of NBA expansion, and the locations being looked at are Seattle and Las Vegas. Are you for or against this?
Oh man, I'm for it. I am for it. Listen, we know what Seattle can do with a franchise. We know the Supersonics was there, so that's a thriving market. You want to go back and open that market up again. Kevin Durant has been very vocal about getting another team now, so you're going to have the NBA support and the player support as far as trying to be involved in the ownership there. And then Las Vegas, let's be real here, we know what it is. We see what the Raiders got going on with their new stadium there in Las Vegas. Las Vegas got a lot of money. They itching to spend it. They want to be part of the franchise landscape, the sports landscape. So go ahead and open up one now, and we'll see. But I love the idea. I think those are two good places for different reasons, but still two good locations for the NBA to look to expand. So I like it. The New York Yankees center fielder Aaron Hicks could miss the rest of the season after his surgery to repair a torn tendon shield in his left wrist. How does this affect the Yankees moving forward?
I think it's gonna hamper their depth. I think they'll look to Brett Gardner to go to center field. They really, I mean, you think of guys like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton; those are more corner outfielders. So I think it's something that maybe their defense could suffer a little bit because of it. And he's one of their, I think he's really their only switch hitter. So he's also a guy that works the count really well. But I think it could be a factor. But we've also seen in the past, the Yankees seem to be like everybody's hurt, and yet they keep just plugging along until the playoffs. So I don't think this will hurt them much in a regular season, but if he misses the playoffs as well, it could. I think it could hurt him then. All right, this evening on ESPN at the Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas, it's the undisputed super lightweight titles on the line in a match of undefeateds when Josh Taylor steps in the ring against Jose Carlos Ramirez. All right, who leaves as the undisputed drink and why?
I'm gonna go with Ramirez. Just listen, Josh Taylor, hell of a fighter. Both of these guys, this is gonna be a very good matchup for top rank and promotions. But at the end of the day, I just like Ramirez. I think Ramirez have fought like more quality opponents, and Ramirez got a more of a I'm gonna go through you style. And you got Josh Taylor. Listen, the guy he seems to be somewhat of a knockout artist. I question his resume a little bit, so that's why I'm going with Ramirez. So I think Jose Ramirez will walk out the undisputed champ. Bucks coach Bruce Arians said he is not tied to Tom Brady and he has no plans to retire anytime soon in an interview with Perta Report podcast. What do you think of those comments?
I thought he was absolutely right. I mean, this is a guy, even though the addition of Tom Brady helped him win his first Super Bowl. This is a guy who's had successful stints, had a great career with the Arizona Cardinals, got them to or close to a Super Bowl, and also can't forget his time, working with Indianapolis with Andrew Luck, working with Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger. So no, I don't look at his reputation completely tied to Tom Brady. The only thing I didn't like what he said was he like, if down the line, Tom Brady, whatever. We got Blaine Gabbert. I think Blaine Gabbert's the most underrated player in the NFL. Like we know that's a load of nonsense. But outside of that, I thought he was absolutely right. All right, last one tonight. It's UFC Fight Night. Font versus Garbrandt on ESPN Plus at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. The main event is a bantamweight fight between the number 3 ranked contender Rob Font and the number 4 ranked contender Cody Garbrandt. Who you got, Drink?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I like both of these guys. Both of these guys are some brawlers. They come in now. Rob Font just took a little longer to get to his spot than it took Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt, the former bantamweight champion, but then he went through a rough patch where he lost like 3-4 fights in a row. But he didn't bounce back in a big way. So with that said, I'm gonna say Garbrandt with a possibly a knockout somewhere in the second or third round, and so he can get back to his second stint at making a run at the bantamweight championship.
All right, that concludes today's Drink of Wisdom. Thank you for joining us. As always, like, listen, share, subscribe. I'm Jay Wise.
And I'm Nathan Drinker. And remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday. You know what we gonna do. It's the NBA playoffs, baby. Y'all know y'all need to tune in, and we gonna holler at you until next time, baby.